Corey Harris, editor of Security Systems News. I'm here with Hans Kahler, COO of Brivo. Hans, thank you for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
I want to get into the Ring Super Bowl ad controversy. I know the ad was meant to showcase a positive use of AI, but instead triggered fears about mass surveillance. What went through your mind as you watched that backlash unfold?
I thought, wow, somebody didn't think this one through. I agree with you. It was meant to show something really positive. I mean, everybody that's ever lost a pet sure would like to find that pet returned. But the next layer down, I think people started wondering, well, geez, what else can they search for? And so my first thought was, I'm going to get a lot of questions about this, because from our video side, a lot of times people view what we do to be kind of analogous to what Ring does, but obviously on a much larger scale. And I was right. We did get a lot of questions about, hey, is this how Eagle Eye Video works? And of course the answer is no, that's not how Eagle Eye Video works, but it prompted a lot of questions. And what I'm more concerned about is the people that just assume that all video works that way and didn't even ask the question.
Yep, which leads into my next question, which is, how does Brivo's approach to privacy and data governance fundamentally differ from Ring's, particularly when it comes to default settings, consent, and transparency?
All right, so a couple things. We state and believe and operate under the fact that the customer owns the data, whether that's the video data, whether that's access control data, whatever. The customer owns the data. We're merely custodians of that data. And it's ultimately up to the customer to decide what happens with it. Now, generally speaking, in the video side, that video gets deleted maybe 30 days, 90 days, whatever the customer wants. After that, during that time, while the video exists, that customer has the ability to share that if they want to, but they explicitly have to share it. There's no default sharing enabled of any kind. So they can share a clip or they can share an entire camera. This is great for police investigations. This is great for insurance. We've worked with companies doing insurance investigations, lots of different things. Or maybe even within your own company, sometimes a user, or you need to share video with an employee that is maybe not a normal user. So you can turn on sharing for just a period of time and then it'll automatically be disabled. So I think the main difference we're talking about versus what you described is that by default, there's no sharing of video unless the user, I have to say, and a user with appropriate authorization has chosen to share that.
Now, why is the opt-in versus opt-out decision so critical in security technology?
Well, I think opt-in versus opt-out, it's meant to be helpful, but not necessarily always clear helpful to who. And so we decide that we want to help the user protect their privacy. And so it can, again, the users can choose to share, but by default, we're opting them out of that and they can choose to opt in. And it's not always clear on things, especially consumer grade technology. There's a lot more benefit to companies gathering data, whether that's social media, whether that's consumer grade products of other kinds. Somebody once told me that if you're not paying for a service, then you are the product. And clearly that's not the approach we've taken. And so you need to think about that, whether it's in surveillance, whether it's in social media, whatever, that if you're getting something for free, you are the product, and they're most likely using your information in some way that you don't know about.
Great stuff. Thank you very much for stopping by, Hans.
Thank you for having me.